Welcome back, everybody, to Crime and Plastic. Sorry, we've been away for a couple of weeks. Our schedules have not let us record for a little bit, but we're back, better than ever.
Season 2.
Maybe we're not really sure about seasons. If we're doing seasons, we're just trying to come up with an episode every week, but occasionally we'll take a break.
Thanksgiving.
Yes, we took a Thanksgiving break. We might take a New Year's break also. We'll see. Let's see how it goes. How have you been?
I had too much stuffing,
Yes, you did.
and I'm thinking of doing lipo on myself after hours.
Speaking of
when everybody
lipo,
leaves.
What?
before our last break, I
yeah.
still had not had arm lipo.
Oh, wow. That's true.
We've been away for a minute.
And now she has skinny model arms.
That's not true. They're still swollen.
Okay.
It'll take a little bit, but they look really good.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I just wish they would stop accumulating fluid.
Well,
That's annoying. And not typical from what I've heard.
well, typically, arm lipo involves the removal of maybe 150 cc's per arm.
I think you have to finish the joke for the audience to laugh because they don't know what you're referring to.
So we got a total of a liter of fat. Well, it was also a little bit of her upper back, so I'll be fair.
Thank you.
Probably, you're right, it's probably 400 cc's from each arm, which is like, I don't know, how much is in that bottle of water there? What's it say there in terms of milliliters?
500.
That's 500?
Yeah.
So that's five. So like a bottle of water is 500. So
Yeah.
like, imagine a little bit less than that, or 20% less than that from each arm.
But you're doing well. You recovered well.
But
I
you're
did.
doing great. But that could be why you're a little more swollen and a
Because
little
I had
more
a lot of extra
space.
space
Yeah, that's it.
because there was a lot of fluid.
Nature abhors a vacuum. But you're doing fantastic. Do not worry.
Thank you.
It will be a wonderful result. I know it.
All right. So, what has happened in the last
News
month?
of the world of plastic surgery. So in the last month, do you remember we talked about Dr. Jeffrey Kim in Colorado, who's the plastic surgeon who I guess he didn't call 911, right? And the patient
Yes.
died eventually, right? And she
Yeah.
was convicted of reckless manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
So he was sentenced. How much do you think he got in jail?
5 years.
I don't even remember which one this was because there was two like that.
There's two similar ones. This was the first one, I think.
Yeah, the other one's still
Going on.
Still going on.
Anyway, he got 15 days in prison. That's it. In jail.
15 days.
15 days. I don't understand.
How's that possible?
I didn't know that was a possible sentence.
$70,000 in fines and 120 hours of community service. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so shitty. Who sued him again?
Now his medical license is suspended indefinitely. So
Okay.
Was it the state that sued him?
Well,
Was it a criminal charge or no?
criminal charge, yeah.
Why-
He had a civil charge with the family. They did a civil suit already that
Mhm.
has already been settled. I think he paid the family $1 million.
For 15 days, it's just, if you were going to just give him 15 days, why'd you spend the taxpayer money on the fucking trial? That's such bullshit.
I agree. That's true.
That was so,
I didn't know that was an option. 15 days.
15 days is so
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I mean, he's not like a threat to society.
No, he is if he continues to practice.
Well, I guess they suspended his license, so I guess they figured.
So why even go through the trial?
Good question. I maybe to set an example. I think these cases are actually important because of that. Like we're talking about it, and surgeons in emergencies, they need to call 911 right away. They can't think about the patients on the other floors or their reputation or how it's going to look to the neighbors. They have to focus on saving the patient first and foremost.
Amen.
If you think about calling 911, you should be calling 911.
Back from the Instacart break. This episode has been brought to you by Instacart.
But it's not really instant.
That is not a good promo for Instacart. They won't ever sponsor us if you say that.
Sorry, Instacart. It's practically instant if you consider 30 minutes instant.
It is for groceries. You can't like magic unless you want magic. It's not Magic Cart.
Well, Magic Cart would be better, actually. I like that name better.
It's not magic though.
Yeah, but
It's pretty quick.
I'm very literal.
Yes, you are. Okay, guys. So now we're gonna get into today's episode. We're gonna tell the story of Lindsay Hawker.
Oh, I don't think I know anything about this story.
Santina does.
I
Oh.
do.
Well, as I tell the details, you'll remember.
Okay.
Okay.
So Lindsay Hawker, she was born to Bill and Julia Hawker in Coventry, England. She studied biology at the University of Leeds, and she achieved first class honors, graduating in 2006. She was planning to pursue a master's degree, but she decided to take a year off and teach English in Japan. She taught at it's called Koiwa. No, sorry. She was going to teach a year for Japan at a private English conversation school. So she was teaching English in Japan for a year before she started her master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Then one day, she was at a cafe.
You know what I always wonder about those people who go to different countries and teach English if they don't speak the second language?
I was just thinking the
How
same
the
thing.
fuck?
How?
How are they teaching?
How are they teaching if they don't speak Japanese? Exactly what I was thinking.
Because there's so many. Like my friend was in Spain and she was saying that like she taught English to Spanish kids, but she speaks Spanish, but her coworkers only spoke English. And I'm like, how the fuck do you tell a kid like lapis is like pencil if you don't know the word lapis?
Right. I mean, you just hold it up and go pencil.
Yeah, but
point
then
at it.
they're like reduced to the things in the room.
It's a good question. The thought crossed my mind. Can you just graduate? I mean, can anybody just teach English to people anywhere without knowing the language?
I don't know.
Unless I mean like if they're small,
Megan says yes.
I guess if you're small, if they're super small, it's almost like teaching them English from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like just having them hear it and stuff is how they'll learn it. But if they're like a first grader, like how the fuck they already have a full vocabulary at that age.
Well, someone who knows something about it may send us an email or something explaining this how it works. But okay.
Maybe that forces the kids to really learn English because they have no.
But it said it was a conversation school. These are adults.
So I guess they
must already know English.
Yeah,
to
they
some
must already
extent.
know English.
Okay.
She's not teaching English from scratch. So then one day on her train ride home, she gets approached by Tatsuya Ichihashi. And he says that she's his English teacher. And she was like, I don't think I am.
You all look alike, all you English Americans.
And then he follows her home as she like bikes home. He follows her, and
In broad daylight.
I think it was daylight. It doesn't say if it was daylight. She sends this message to her boyfriend and tells him the story.
Right.
Lindsay sends this to her, and then he follows her home, and asks for a glass of water. She doesn't live alone. She lives with two girls, so she feels bad for him. She lets him come in, gives him water, and then he leaves a note. He draws her a picture, signs his name, his telephone number, and email address, and then they agree that she'll give him a private English lesson 4 days later.
And this is 2006, 2007?
Yeah, 2006.
So
Okay.
2007,
I guess
actually.
he didn't follow her home. He went home with her.
Right.
Well, he kind of followed her.
Maybe they were making conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. He followed. I don't know. It sounds a little creepy, but I mean, I guess she said she felt sorry for him. She brought him back, and she gave him a glass of water.
Right.
She introduced him to her roommates, and then they agreed that she would give him a private lesson 4 days later. So they met on Saturday, March 24th, in a cafe, and then he tells her that he doesn't have money to pay her. It's back at his apartment.
Ooh.
So they take a taxi to his apartment so she could get paid. And she tells the taxi driver to wait for her. The taxi driver waits 7 minutes. She never comes out. The taxi driver leaves. Her job.
7 minutes. That's not.
Her job.
That's not really waiting.
Well, maybe he thought they were together. And he's like, all right, they changed their mind. I don't
Okay.
know. Then she doesn't show up for work Sunday or Monday.
I hate this already.
And the school calls, and her roommates and the school say she's missing. They call the police. Well, her roommates had called the police, but apparently they called the wrong police or something. They probably weren't Japanese either. They're probably foreigners. And then the school reported her missing, so they tell the last, I guess, the last place she was supposed to be. So they go to the apartment to question Tatsuya Ichihashi. And when they go there, he runs away.
Not a good look.
No.
He
no.
runs away
They see
in their presence.
Yeah. So apparently, like, you need, even to like knock on somebody's door in Japan, you need like a warrant or some sort of special cause, from what I understand.
Just a knock, damn.
And then he sees them. He was coming out of his apartment in his socks. I think he was just like throwing out garbage or something. And he sees them and he runs. And then the people, they didn't have like radio communication between, he was like on the 4th floor and they were on the bottom floor. So the cops on the 4th floor seeing him run couldn't tell the bottom floor people, and he escaped and disappeared. Then they were able to,
Not a good look for the cops.
no. And then, no, it's not a good look for the cops. He eluded them for a long time. They get into his apartment, and they were able to obtain an arrest warrant,
Search warrant.
search warrant. They said neighbors had heard sounds of striking metal and something being dragged. So they get into the apartment, and they find her body in a bathtub on the balcony.
Okay, first of all, he's fucking nasty
Yeah.
for keeping a dead body for 4 days.
Yeah.
Fucking nasty as fuck. Even if it's on your balcony, that shit has to smell.
He put like compost. I think he was trying to decompose the body and then take it out when the body decomposed.
And none of his neighbors could smell that.
I don't know.
I guess if he composts normally, it kind of
I don't know.
doesn't smell great. Compost.
What the fuck? Also, I hate true crime stories like this where it's just like a normal kind of seemingly normal encounter and someone around your age, and
Yeah.
it's just so sinister.
Too close to home.
Yeah.
I like the stories we normally cover because it's like there's really like, people are married. It's like, okay.
That's
I
not
g-
you. But
Yeah.
you could see yourself moving someplace to teach English, right?
Or not just that, but like there was a similar story, some girl who was in law school and it was like her peer / neighbor who killed her, and it's like
Right.
these are your peers are never the people you think would kill you.
No.
But like your husband, yeah, probably. The chances are good. The chances are real good.
So and then he keeps the police chasing him for 2.5 years.
Wow.
I do know.
Did he
this
have
story.
any money, like that he was on the run so long? And
So he doesn't have money, but sounds like he was born to a family. His father was a doctor, his mother was a dentist.
oh,
He graduated from horticulture school,
uh-huh.
and then it says he did not work and lived on a monthly allowance of 100,000 yen from his parents.
What is that in US?
It's about $600 to $760. $600 to $760 a month,
And they must have paid for his apartment too, I guess. Right?
probably.
Yeah.
If you're how old is he?
He was 28.
Yeah, if you're
Let's
28
say-
and your parents are still giving you money, you're fucking rich.
Yeah. I mean, they were a doctor.
Yeah.
You're
A
Yeah.
doctor and a dentist. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah,
they
yeah.
weren't poor.
So, did the parents know where he was hiding out all this time?
No, not as far as I know. They went. They had like for like 2.5 years. They had 8,000 sightings of him. They were
8,000.
They had 140 officers involved. They had an award of 10 million yen, which is, I'm not sure how much. I think I'll check.
Well, if 100,000 is like $800,
Yes.
and $1 million is 8,000, like $80,000.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So
I do know this story, by the way.
yes.
I never heard this story.
Yes, I asked her to research it.
Oh, so that's how you know.
I'll
it.
tell you why I didn't.
I know why she did it because she couldn't. Because I'll tell you why. Because I know why she did it either.
Her arms were hurting her.
No.
No, but the
Her
other
fingers
reason
couldn't type.
the
Because
reason
he
I-
writes a book about his whole experience. It's called Until I Was Arrested, telling exactly what he did.
No.
But it's only in Japanese,
Japanese.
and you can't get an English copy of it. So she's more thorough than I am. She wouldn't be able to tell the story without knowing all the
right.
details.
Maybe we can Google Translate
So I
piece by
think
piece.
yes.
No, but when I was looking to do it, I tried to find like a an internet book, an ebook, so that I could do that.
Yeah.
But they don't have. You can only get the real copy.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and they made a movie about it too, and a Japanese movie about it. So he was cited in like brothels, and they said in a section and that he was like in a homosexual section of town, and his male sexual partners were identifying him. He they even like had that they were, they had a lot of pressure also from Lindsay's parents in
And
England.
the American.
I'm sure.
Oh,
You know,
she's English.
She's English, and they were putting
Leeds.
pressure, like because they felt like the police did not handle it properly, and they were like, "Don't give up." They kept it in the media because they didn't want them to stop searching. They did some crazy thing, like the police came out with like life size like pictures of him, like little like like
Cut off.
cutouts to put everywhere to like look for
Oh.
this guy,
That's kind of
which his
smart.
dad thought it was her dad thought it was kind of ridiculous, but
I think it's smart.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's kind of smart.
like life size, like you
Yeah.
know how tall he is, and
Yeah.
that makes sense.
so they didn't. So what he did, he got a job like on a dock for 13 months, and he actually did plastic surgery on himself at first. He removed a mole so that he could look different, and then he saved up money in the 13 months he was working to get several procedures to his face. Like he changed his eyes to look more Western looking, his nose, and he would just go do the surgery and never come up for the follow-up. So like a lot of plastic surgery clinics were also giving tips to the police saying that he meets the description, but he never comes back for the follow-up. So I think he went to about 2 or 3 plastic surgery clinics. So that is how he mainly evaded capture, was by changing the way he looks.
So
The
what did he
plastic
do?
surgeon.
So he got rid of a mole. He did his eyes.
He did his
some
eyes.
I
facial
think he did his
surgery,
nose.
Yeah, he did his nose, he did his
Nose,
eyes, he did
chin,
it doesn't
jawline.
say he did his chin. He did
How was he finally caught?
he was
If he looks so different.
This also became relevant later because for the reward, like there were a bunch of people who were claiming this reward because the clinic gave tips on him that led to his arrest. And then he was on a ferry from going to Okinawa, and one of the passengers identified him, and that's how he got caught finally.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, it kind of had to have been a big story for people to have.
Yeah.
For 8,000 sightings, like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like there's no convicted person right now I can think of like on top of my head. You know
There's
what I
no
mean?
manhunt that I
Yeah.
can think of either.
Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, but that's
Even
done.
I don't really know what he looks like or looked like,
You do.
allegedly.
No, but I see. So this lady
But he's
was
no
able
Osama
to
bin Laden.
identify. Well, in Japan, they were having cutouts of him and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, this lady was able to identify him on a boat,
Yeah.
even though was missing a mole, different eyes, different nose. What gave him? Like, what made her?
He was, I don't know, he had a mask on too. Said
That's fucking crazy.
Why? What year was it?
it was 2007,
And
2008 when he got caught.
yeah, it's 2.5 years. So it's got to be at least 2009, maybe.
Yeah, but it's like common that in Asia.
Oh,
to
in
wear
Asia,
masks.
right,
Yeah,
right,
to
right,
wear
because
masks.
of the bird
Quality.
flu and
yeah, so he was wearing a mask.
SARS one.
Wait, but I
Yeah.
have so many questions.
Let's see if I can answer them. I don't know if I know all the answers, but like I said,
This
I
boat that he was on, was it like a work boat?
It was a ferry. It was a ferry going to
So it was
Okinawa.
just random strangers.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're just random
That
strangers.
that
Like,
woman had a good eye.
she did.
That's what I was saying. But why did no one at the dock
Yeah, I'm saying,
turn
because
him in?
if
for
it was like a
13
work
months?
boat, then I'd be like, okay, maybe they thought he's like weird at work. Like, there's all this, like, interacting with a person could change. How
Was
you think
he
of them.
convicted of the murder?
Yes,
I'm pretty sure he was.
He was. So he went to trial and he wrote a book about this, his whole, not about the crime, about the arrest and what he, it's called Until I Was Arrested. So
So
during
it's
this
2 years.
there's 2 years on the lam. And he did it as, he says it was he was trying to do atonement because he wanted the proceeds or whatever royalties he got from the book to go to
Her family.
her family, but they said, "Fuck you, no, we
Yeah.
don't want that." And then the court system in Japan is actually kind of interesting, from what I can understand. They have they have victim witnesses, so like the victim's family can actually question the person on trial. And then they have, instead of a jury system, they have a lay judge system. So the jury, they don't have a jury, they have a panel of 9 judges, 3 professional judges, and 6 lay people, like basically like our version of a jury.
Yeah.
And they also could question it's like a inquisitory system, so they could ask questions directly to the defendant. So when he was arrested, he didn't admit anything. He just he didn't confess for like 28 days or something crazy, as long as they could hold him. And then he says he first confesses that he just raped her, not that he killed her. And then at trial, he does confess that he didn't mean to kill her. He raped her, and they had.
I thought you said that he was in some homosexual bar zone. I guess he's bisexual.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't. That's what the sightings. I don't know if that was ever like 100%, because people were citing him everywhere. So I don't know if that's 100% confirmed. But he, so they both like knew martial arts. He's a black belt, but she also knew some. And I guess they were fighting at first because she had bruises all over her body.
Really?
I guess she definitely tried to defend herself, and then he raped her, and he said that he smothered her to keep her from screaming, and that's how she strangled her, and that's how she died. So he says that, he knows that he's responsible for killing her, but he didn't intend to kill her when he was
even if he didn't intend to kill her, what he did to her was still fucking illegal and horrific.
Yeah.
Did they have the death penalty in Japan?
They do have the death penalty in Japan, and the parents obviously
sought it,
requested, because in the same system, the victims can have input in the sentencing to the victim's family. But he got life in prison. Apparently, Japan does give the death penalty a lot, but only if there's multiple murders, not for one murder.
Got it.
If they, so it's very rare to get the death penalty if you have only killed one person. So he got life in prison. And there's a whole book about.
So he wrote the book in prison or before?
No, he wrote it. I think he wrote it before while he was on trial. It had already been. He had already had it. Was she actually
his English tutor or no?
No, she wasn't.
So how the fuck did he know her?
I guess he just saw her on the train.
He probably stalked her.
Yeah, but how would he have known that she was an English tutor?
Stalked her.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Well, I think if you see someone who speaks English going into an English conversation school.
Yeah, maybe he started leaving the school.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be that hard.
I guess.
But
she was obviously very immersed in the culture. She was learning martial arts. She was teaching.
Yeah. No, it was very.
So maybe she did know Japanese.
Maybe it doesn't say she did or she didn't. It just
says
she taught English.
I feel like you would have to.
She was. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't say. She's taught. She had accommodation with 2 other foreign female teachers.
So I guess the lesson is, even if you have plastic surgery to evade the law, even if you do the plastic surgery on yourself and have multiple plastic surgeries, you still might get caught.
No, the lesson is the same lesson you're taught as a fucking kid. Stranger danger. Don't fucking go to someone's apartment. If they forgot the money, if you are like, okay, you need the money, you're down bad for the cash, at least wait downstairs. Like, do not go up. Don't go into someone's house that you don't know.
Agreed. But you never listen. Most of us.
Not that it's
Most of us let our guard down all the time.
I'm saying I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying, like, it's better safe than sorry. And also,
it is better safe.
My fucking worst fear is being in a bad situation in a foreign country. That's like the worst case scenario.
Like, even our roommates didn't know how to call the police.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be living in a foreign country, I feel like that's one of the first things you should do is like find out what numbers are 911 in that country.
Not even just living, even visiting. Like, when my mom goes on vacation to foreign countries, I'm like, oh my God, what if she gets lost? And like
your mom's not a cat.
No, but it doesn't matter. I worry because it's like you're not also, you don't have like the same like rights, like,
You should also know where your embassy
I'm pretty sure
is.
it's against the law to murder tourists.
No. I'm saying me as like her daughter doesn't have any like
Oh, like
Yeah.
to find out what's going on.
like here in the United States, I'm going to the police. I'm like, I'm fucking here. I'm her daughter. Over there, it's like
yeah, but you go to
you're
the
not even
embassy.
there.
You go to the embassy.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you're not there.
You
I
should.
mean, you could go there.
You should. Yeah, that's another thing. You should always identify your embassy where
Yes.
you are,
Yes.
so you know who can help you in a foreign country.
But nobody cares more than you.
No, it's
You know
true.
what I mean?
True.
Of course.
Even your embassy
no, they don't give
ambassador, like
a fuck.
they got 20 million people. It's like
they got
you just don't have the same. There's like a
No.
language barrier. Like there's just too much. Like
for sure.
even if I went missing in Italy, or someone missing in Italy, I would fucking blow my head off because those Italians, they don't want to fucking work. They'd be like, sorry. The police station would be like, we're closed from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We open up from 1 to 3 and then we close
Well,
again.
I think it's crazy that he got he just escaped. And there was like, I think they said something like 8 police officers or something in his building that first day, and he got away.
That's
crazy.
Mind-boggling.
He was barefoot. He was like, he just came out in his socks, and he like ran, and he had his gym bag and socks, and he got away.
I picture one of those like cop TV shows where the guy like looks back and then just starts running down the alley.
Yeah, I don't.
You wouldn't think
It's crazy.
somebody would chase him.
No, but I just feel like it was a lack of effort. Because how the fuck?
That's what I think too.
Like this guy, how does he go away for 2 years?
Well, they didn't know the body was inside though.
At
Yeah, that's
first,
right.
they didn't know.
Yeah, so they weren't like all up in this is a
Right.
murderer. They were like, oh,
Right.
this
We'll
maybe.
just catch him after.
I
Yeah.
don't know. If a girl's missing and the last
guy's
person who saw
running.
her starts running, yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably hiding something. I don't know. That's just my
Yeah, it's really sad.
non-professional instinct.
She thought she was helping out some
Rando.
Japanese guy, and they must have spent like an hour or two together in that cafe. So she probably didn't think he was.
That's another thing.
Creepy,
Like
and
such
then
a
he was.
shame that she like met him out in a public. She probably had like that forethought because she met him in a public scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what you do with a stranger.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I don't have the money.
Yeah.
That's why
You motherfucker.
Venmo,
Yeah.
Zelle
Well,
saves lives.
That's 2009.
You're right.
No, I'm saying that's why
You're right.
now. That's why they're important. That's what I meant.
But I'm just like, you come to a tutoring session knowing you have to pay me, you don't bring money, you're up to no good.
100% agreed.
You're up to no fucking good. This has been planned for 4 days, you motherfucker.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I hate him.
I hate him too. Poor Lindsay.
I know.
Hope he rots in
It's like,
jail.
oh, I didn't mean to kill her. I was just going to brutally rape her. What?
And then
And fight her.
And fight, and martial arts fight her. Like, that's
and then-
wild.
And then like write that book and think that would be like her parents would want any part of that. Like it's
Right.
like what?
Oh, I raped and murdered your daughter. Here's $50,000 for my book.
Yeah, as atonement for what I did. That's such bullshit. Yeah, that's awful. Awful person, and I'm sorry.
Is the movie
Lindsay.
available like with English subtitles?
I didn't find it.
Is it the movie about just the 2 years that he was in
Yes.
hiding?
Yeah.
I think so.
And the plastic surgery and the
Yeah, I
close
think so.
calls where he almost got caught and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's just it's the years he was on the lam.
Mm,
He doesn't really talk about the crime till he gets arrested, till the court.
right.
what he
I think
did.
that's a really cool court system, though.
yeah,
It
it's
sounds,
interesting.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting to watch
Yeah.
too.
And then it's the because they have the professional judges, they still could veto like anything the lay. So it's like both. Like they don't have total control of the lay people who don't really know the law. So because they have the professional judges, and they could veto any
Question.
decision or whatever that
Oh.
that they decide.
I would love to see
I
the
feel like-
Johnny Depp Amber Heard retried with
In
the, with
Japan.
with 6 lay people being able to
And it's
ask
by majority,
questions.
not unanimous. It's by the
Oh,
majority.
even better.
Of,
Wow.
have
Even
to come
better.
up with this.
And
the,
also, like, that
the
victims'
can
families can
question.
question is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I wonder, it's probably so difficult to come up with, like, a defense. Because there's just too many moving parts. Like, you don't know
Yeah.
who's going to ask what. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're guilty.
well,
Yeah.
I'm saying for...
And if you're innocent, your defense is pretty much the same. But if you're
but
guilty,
I'm saying for the defense attorney, like, you don't know who's going to ask what, like, what judge is going to be who. Like, it's...
Yeah, it's hard to
Yes.
prepare.
Also, do they have, like, a judge selection, like, that you can
I think so.
take out a professional judge, or the professional judges
No, the
for
professional
sure?
judges I think are for sure, and I don't know how the selection of the lay people works.
That's so interesting.
It was new. It was like just happened around this trial. Like they had this system. I think it started in the first one was like in 2000. The trial happened in 2011, and I think the first one started in 2009 because they had abolished the jury system in like the 1940s, and then they brought it back. This version of the jury system.
I don't know. It's kind of dope. I feel like it'd be a little more
Yeah.
fair.
I feel like I would like to be. I would want to be on jury duty if you got to ask questions.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes
Right?
it more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, gives you like. I mean, I know the jury has a lot of power, but it's more just like at the end.
No,
You
but
just have to sit and listen. But this is more.
You
Yeah,
can ask the questions that are on
engaging.
your mind.
Yeah.
Instead of falling asleep.
yeah, definitely more engaging. But yeah, that's the sad, sad tale of Lindsay Hawker. May she rest in peace. And we'll be back with another story for us in a few minutes. For you in a week. Talk to you soon.
Stay beautiful. You've been listening
Bye.
to Crime and Plastic. Brought to you by Crocs.
I thought
Best
Instacart.
Crocs on earth. Sorry. Brought to you
Instacart.
by Instacart. It's not really instant, but it is like magic.
The worst promo ever.